Yeah, so this is the map of the surface, and we see this is the alteration patterns that we see at the surface of the project area. And one of the key things here to look at is that this is a porphyry system, and it kind of has the characteristics that you would expect to see with a porphyry system. At the core or lower in the system is a stockwork where sometimes the grades aren't as strong. And then around that kind of pink zone there is a potassic alteration. And the potassic alteration in many porphyry copper systems is where much of the grade lies, the better grade. And surrounding that at Yander is also a phyllic zone. And what we see in the phyllic zone is that there are locally zones where it crosses into the potassic and enriches the grade a little bit. So that the pattern that you see there is very typical of many porphyry systems, um, even though there are some complexities and some differences at Yandra. And I think what's also interesting about this particular map pattern is you can see the known resources center around a good zone of potassic and phyllic alteration. But there's potassic alteration to the southeast, and there's potassic alteration observed to the northwest. And that indicates that there's potential to find more quality mineralization in those areas away from the resources that we already know about. If you think of a porphyry system or alteration systems as a bullseye pattern, then a lot of times the phyllic is the broadest of the parts of the target. And then the phyllic is a little bit narrower, and then your potassic is the narrow zone that you're really targeting. And so the interesting thing about the propylitic alteration is it kind of gives you a vector, if you will, as to where you should be looking or start to look. And so you can see there are little circles there with crosses distributed throughout the project area. And those are drill hole collars, places where we drilled, or the project has been drilled to look for mineralization. And most of those drill holes are located within the resource footprint. And some of those areas that are prospective with potassic alteration have very few drill holes. And so it illustrates the potential for finding other stuff outside of the resource area where we already know about mineralization. So the alteration tells a really interesting story here about the project area. One, that it's pretty common, pretty well defined porphyry system in many respects. But it also shows that there's potential outside of the resources that we know about. And I think that is really interesting from an exploration perspective because there's opportunity there to expand.